But we'll move on to Missouri, the
Hmm.
alpha nerd, Eli Drinkowitz. Coming off, like I said, back to back 10-win seasons at Mizzou. But Brady Cook is now gone. Theo Weiss is now gone. Luther Burden is now gone.
With the burden.
How well will Mizzou be? They returned 13 starters, 5 on offense, 8 on defense. They returned Brett Norfleet, the tight end, 26 catches, 235 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Marquise Johnson at receiver, 25 catches, 352 yards, and a touchdown. Tristan Newsome at linebacker, 71 total tackles, 39 solos, a sack, pass breakup, and forced fumble. Marvin Burks, Jr., safety, 66 total tackles, 34 solos, 2 pass breakups, and interception. Dylan Carnell, safety, 51 total tackles, 28 solos, 6 pass breakups, 2 forced fumbles, fumble recovery, and a scoop and score touchdown. Zion Young, 41 total tackles, 14 solos, 2.5 sacks, 3 pass breakups, a fumble recovery, forced fumble, and a scoop and score touchdown. Chris McClellan, D tackle, 39 total tackles, 10 solos, 2.5 sacks, 2 pass breakups, and a forced fumble. Dre Norwood, a cornerback, 35 total tackles, 21 solos, 3 pass breakups, 2 interceptions. And Torino Pride, a cornerback, 22 total tackles, 17 solos, 4 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, touchdown, forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. I do like Torino Pride, just side note. They do lose, like I said, Brady Cook, who had 11 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. I do think he was battling some injuries last year. He's currently on the Jets. Nate Noel, a running back, who had 163 carries, 818 yards, 5 a carry, and 3 touchdowns, currently on the Colts. Not to mention they do lose Marcus Carroll from Georgia Tech the year, not Georgia Tech, Georgia State before he went to Mizzou. I did like the fact that they had 2 group of 5 running backs in that backfield. I felt good about that for some reason. They do lose Luther Burden, 676 yards, 61 catches, 6 touchdowns on the Bears. Theo Weiss Jr., who actually led them in receiving yards with 884 yards on 60 carries, 4 touchdowns, currently on the Dolphins. Corey Flagg Jr., a linebacker, 81 total tackles, 37 solos, a sack, interception, and fumble recovery. They lost Johnny Walker Jr., an edge rusher, currently on the Broncos, 43 total tackles, 19 solos, 9.5 sacks, a pass breakup, 3 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. They were 14th overall recruiting class, 7th for transfers. Talk to me about Mizzou.
Okay. Mizzou, 10 plus wins, finished top 25, 2 years straight. It's the first time they did that in 10 years. So that's good. Like they're building a consistent program of winning. And I think that would almost kind of carry over this year. At first, when I was doing the scheduling, I was super high on them. You know what I mean? I had, this is another team that can be sneaky this year in the SEC. I feel like Ahmad Hardy would be really good this year. I feel like their running game it's really good. I feel like they're a well balanced team as far as offense and defense. Like I said, I think Missouri can be a sneaky team in the SEC. Very underrated in my opinion.
I ain't gonna say nothing about how I feel like gonna be this season. What I will say is I don't know how they're gonna be running the ball this year. I think
Ooh.
one hand, I think they're gonna be decent because Bo Bueller brings that extra door threat ability that Brady Cook did not really bring. On the other hand, though, I don't know how well Bo Bueller can throw the ball. So maybe he doesn't give that threat of being that good of a passer. So maybe teams load the box and make him beat them with they on. So I'm really not too crazy on Mizzou's offense this year. I know they bring in Kevin Coleman from Mississippi State, which we talked about like last segment, which is a really good pickup there. But losing Luther Burden and Theo Weiss Jr. was already huge. You lose Cody Schrader from 2 years ago, who was the Bullsworth winner 2 years ago for the best walk-on. Guy who started off as a walk-on. That was 2 years prior. And they try to replace him. And they did a good job of replacing that production with Carroll and Nate Noel. But now Carroll and Nate Noel are gone. So can they replace that production? Can Mizzou reload? That is also a question Missouri has to count to answer. And I think they'll be pretty decent defensively, maybe even pretty good defensively. But offensively, I got so many questions.
How you feel about Ahmad Hardy?
I don't know.
1,300 yards last year.
I know, but I don't know. Because again, I don't know how Bueller can, how much of a threat he really is going to be throwing the football. And I don't know how well, I mean, besides Kevin Coleman and possibly Marquise Johnson, I don't know how well these receivers are going to win. So he might be running against stacked boxes. I don't know.
I see you saying, yeah.
I can't call it, but I do like the Jaden Catalan addition from UNLV. I watched him play against Houston. He had a really good game against Houston. He had a pick 6 in that game. He had 5 interceptions on the season, 4 pass breakups, and a forced fumble, and 96 total tackles. So I do like that addition. They were 63rd in total offense, 17th in total defense, 71st in passing, 64th in rushing, tied 55th in scoring offense, 18th passing defense, 45th in rushing defense, 20th in scoring defense. Anything you want to add before we go to the schedule?
No, let's get it.
All right, first game, Central Arkansas win. Love the field though.
Win.
Next game, this is kind of a rivalry game against Kansas. Well, it is a rivalry game. It's like the battle for things like I don't know, but it is a rivalry game. They play like each other every year in basketball. I have them beating Kansas though.
Yeah, at home too. Yeah, give me.
Oh
Give
no,
me.
I'm thinking of Illinois. That they play each other in basketball. But yeah, I got it as a win.
Yeah, same.
Louisville. I said Louisville. Louisiana Lafayette. I have as a win.
Oh, okay. I got this. Oh, Lafayette. I got the W.
First game in the SEC at home against South Carolina. I have as a loss.
I do too.
Funny enough, though, Mizzou is a team like growing up. They used to give me fits. I used to hate it actually. And I remember the year we should have went to the SEC championship game. We lost to I want to say it was Matty Mock at Mizzou, and that was the game that cost us a chance to play for the SEC championship. Pissed me off. But next we play. They play UMass to win. UMass is like one of the worst teams in college football.
W.
Alabama lost
I have this as a W.
against Bama.
Hold on. I put this in a W right here. I had it.
I'm pretty sure you had.
Yeah, I did. I had. I think. Yeah, I do. Yep. I said,
no,
I said this earlier. Yep.
Oh, okay.
I got this as a W. At home, yeah, I got this as a sneaky win on Alabama.
Okay.
I got that as Alabama's only loss though.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Next game at Auburn, I have as a loss.
I do too.
At Vandy, actually at Vandy winning this, I have as a loss.
I have this as a loss too.
Okay. Next game at home against Texas A&M, but I still have it as a loss.
W.
Oh, you think they Texas A&M defense, man? We'll get into it later, but I think that defense is gonna dominate that game. Next game, Mississippi State win.
Yeah, W.
Next game. This might tell you how I feel about Oklahoma, which is next. I had this as a win in Norman.
I had a feeling when you said about them earlier, but I got this as a loss.
I'm not mad at it, to be honest. I could go back and forth with this one. And then the last game against Arkansas, huge rivalry game. We talked about it. I have as a loss.
Okay, I got this as a W.
So I have Mizzou going 6-6, 2-6, taking the under 6.5 win total for Missouri.
I got them going 8-4, 4-4 in the conference.
Yeah, I think they have a progression year. Mainly it's because I'm just too big of a question mark for me offensively.
Yeah, I mean you made some great points about the offense.
Yeah, so
I mean the passing game could look decent, then you could probably change your mind.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions I need answered early in the season for Missouri. Well, it's not going to be answered against Central Arkansas, I'll tell you that. But maybe Kansas. I don't even know if it's going to be answered against Kansas. Kansas lose so much. I talked about it.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.